Most people still think weight loss is just about calories in versus calories out. But the science now proves that your microbiome is actually in the driver's seat of how you store fat. Here's the problem. If your gut is out of balance, you can eat perfectly and exercise every day and still feel like you're fighting a losing battle. So, how do you get your body back on your side to finally achieve healthy fat loss? Let me show you how a keystone bacteria called Akkermansia helped research volunteers lose an average of 5 pounds without changing their diet, and the 3 best ways to boost your Akkermansia levels today. Hi there, I'm Dr. Kate. I've been practicing for over 15 years, and in my world of functional medicine, gut health is always the #1 priority. That's because if you don't get the microbiome right, it can be a serious roadblock to success, especially when it comes to your weight. So in this video, we're doing a deep dive into a VIP gut bacteria called Akkermansia muciniphila. Here is why this keystone strain is the missing link in your fat loss journey. Most people think of their microbiome as just good bugs and bad bugs, but it's much more complex than that. Think of your gut like a massive, thriving ecosystem, like a rainforest. In every ecosystem, there are essential species. These are the creatures that keep the entire system from collapsing. In your gut, Akkermansia is one of those essentials. Now, it's actually a relatively new discovery, with scientists first isolating it in the lab in 2004. Since then, it has become one of the most intriguing microbes for human health. In a healthy person, Akkermansia makes up about 4% of your total gut bacteria. But here's the interesting part. Its name gives away its secret power. Muciniphila literally means mucus-loving. Unlike most probiotics that eat the fiber or sugar that you ingest, Akkermansia actually lives in and feeds on the protective mucus layer of your gut lining. By eating the old mucus, it actually stimulates your body to produce fresh, new, healthy mucus. It's like a cleaning crew for your intestinal walls. This is why you won't find Akkermansia in your morning yogurt or that bottle of kombucha. It doesn't live on food. It's anaerobic, meaning it dies the second it touches oxygen. This made it nearly impossible to turn into a supplement for years, which is why most people have never heard of it until now. But we know one thing for sure. Low levels of Akkermansia are a red flag for overall health. Researchers consistently find lower levels in people struggling with obesity, type 2 diabetes, and chronic inflammation. In fact, one study showed that obese mice had 100 times less Akkermansia than their lean siblings. That's not a coincidence, that's a biological marker. So, how does this one tiny bug actually help you burn fat? It isn't magic, it's biology. There are 3 main ways this happens. First, Akkermansia is a natural booster of the weight loss peptides that you're seeing all over the news. You've probably heard of Ozempic or Zepbound. These drugs work by mimicking a hormone in your body called GLP-1. GLP-1 tells your pancreas to release insulin. It tells your brain that you're full, and it slows down your digestion so you feel satisfied longer. Well, Akkermansia naturally increases your body's own production of GLP-1. It does this by secreting a specialized protein called P9. Instead of an expensive weekly injection with potential serious side effects, Akkermansia essentially prompts your gut to do the job it was supposed to do all along. You get the satiety, blood sugar regulation, and weight loss naturally. Second, Akkermansia turns up the heat in your fat cells. This process is called thermogenesis. Akkermansia signals your body to increase energy expenditure, essentially telling your fat cells to stop hoarding energy and start burning it. This is likely why research volunteers in the human trials lost weight even when they were told not to change their diet and exercise. Their internal calorie furnace was simply turned up. Third, Akkermansia heals gut barrier dysfunction, also known as leaky gut. If your gut barrier is hyperpermeable or leaky, toxins called LPS, or lipopolysaccharides, seep into your bloodstream. In fact, Recent research suggests that LPS is one of the strongest predictors of chronic disease. Your immune system sees these toxins and goes into a state of high alert. This creates chronic low-grade inflammation. And inflammation is the often hidden factor underlying fat loss resistance. When your body's inflamed, it refuses to let go of body fat because it thinks it's under attack. Akkermansia uses a specific protein called AMUC1100 to seal those leaks, strengthening the tight junctions between your cells. When the leaks stop, the inflammation stops. And when the inflammation stops, your body finally feels safe enough to release your extra body fat. By now, you're probably wondering, how do I get more Akkermansia? If you suspect your levels are low, there are 3 proven strategies to boost them. Strategy number 1, polyphenols. Since Akkermansia doesn't eat your food, you have to eat the foods that support the environment where it lives. Polyphenols are the big winners here. These colorful compounds are found in specific fruits and vegetables. In particular, studies show that pomegranate and green tea extract are like superfoods for Akkermansia. Adding these to your daily routine can significantly increase the abundance of this VIP bacteria. But it can be tough to get enough polyphenols in your diet, which is why I've spent a lot of time vetting high-dose polyphenol supplements for my own clients. I'll put a link to my top recommendation in the description. Strategy number 2, targeted probiotics. For a long time, you couldn't buy Akkermansia in a bottle. Because it dies in oxygen, manufacturing it was really difficult. But recent breakthroughs have allowed this strain to be encapsulated in both live and pasteurized forms. And it actually works. In a recent major human trial, overweight volunteers took a specific patented Akkermansia supplement every day. FYI, it's the same one I recommend to my clients. After 3 months, they lost an average of 5 pounds and dropped an inch off of their hips. And again, they didn't change their diet or exercise. Another cool thing about this product is that it starts to release good bacteria into the gut in just 30 minutes. Since it's so hard to stabilize Akkermansia, you have to be careful which product you choose. But don't worry, I've linked the exact supplement from that weight loss study in the description so you don't have to guess. Simply sign into my full script dispensary and it should pop right up. And you'll find a nice surprise waiting for you as well. Strategy number 3, functional testing. I'm a big believer in test, don't guess. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss for years, you deserve to know if your microbiome is the culprit. And believe it or not, you can actually measure your Akkermansia levels with a simple at-home stool test. This test measures a ton of other markers for the gut, metabolism, and immune health too. Stuff that your regular doctor doesn't even think to measure. And we help folks get access to this testing all the time. If you order through the link in my description, I'll even help you interpret those results and come up with a personalized action plan to address whatever shows up. If you're sick of wondering and ready for clear answers, check out the description below to get your at-home test kit ordered ASAP. Now, before you start taking my favorite Akkermansia, I want to give you a quick heads up. When you start regenerating the good bacteria in your gut, these sometimes start a war with the less than friendly ones. This can cause what we call a Herxheimer reaction or a die-off reaction. Remember that as the unhelpful bacteria die, they release toxins called LPS. Well, that can result in some temporary bloating, gas, or even a little fatigue for a few days. Don't let this scare you. In most cases, this is actually a sign that the supplement is working. It means your internal ecosystem is shifting. Usually, if symptoms are mild to moderate and you push through for a week or so, those symptoms clear up and you start feeling better than ever. There's also a bit of a debate in the scientific community right now about whether it's better to take live Akkermansia or pasteurized Akkermansia. It sounds counterintuitive, but some of the recent research shows that the pasteurized or heat-killed version actually works better for weight loss and leaky gut than the live version. This is because of that AMUC1100 protein that I mentioned earlier, the one that seals the gut. It's still present and active even if the bacteria itself isn't alive. It also decreases the risk that the live Akkermansia does a little too much munching on your mucus layer, which can be a problem for overall microbiome balance. If you'd like me to do a full deep dive video on the live versus pasteurized debate, let me know in the comments. It's a fascinating look at the future of medicine, and there are great minds on both sides. But what they agree on is most important. Supporting healthy Akkermansia in your gut is a game changer for your metabolic health and your waistline. Like any cutting-edge discovery, Akkermansia isn't a magic pill that lets you ignore a toxic diet. But for those of you who are already doing the work, eating clean, moving your body, and still not seeing the scale move, this might be the missing piece of your puzzle. If you're ready to see what Akkermansia can do for your metabolism, I've made it easy for you. I've put the links to my favorite polyphenol-rich compounds and the specific Akkermansia probiotic that we talked about in the description below. I've also dropped a link to more information about functional stool analysis so you can stop guessing and start testing your microbiome. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here and supporting my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.